Hey everybody, today I'm covering the chapter concept for Coraline, indeed by Bailey. Her perks will be find or lost things, escapist, and brave soul. For Coraline, obviously we'd be doing Coraline as a grown-up in this chapter. This would be into her adult life, well after she had originally faced off against the building. Her perks would let her see the aura of killer objects, chest items, hooked and bound survivors on the map at all times, regardless of blindness. Her perk Escapist would let her gain 3% haste whenever she gained exposed for the duration the exposed lasts. The perk Brave Soul would let her interact with killer objects 25% faster and give elusive during and 10 seconds after that interaction. The other mother would have a base kit form that looks very similar to a survivor. That's why her terror radius is so low in this form. It's a 10-meter terror radius, because the idea here is that you really want to be paying attention. She'd be a 4.6 killer. She would, there'd be an automatic timed ability that would go off that, much like Vecna's clock, where, instead of putting her into a specific power mode, it would inflict stacks of preyed upon, which would act like Sadako's Condemn. So at 3 stacks, for like the 3 lost eyes and the 3 lost children, at 3 stacks there would be Mori at any hook state. To get rid of them, they'd have to locate a killer item, the lost eye, to remove those stacks. Startled crows reveal aura. If we could reskin these as mice/rats, that would be great, but if not, crows work too. She'd also get visual sound waves from generators being worked on, as well as footstep tracking. This would work across floors, so like if you're on the top of RPD, you'd see people in the bottom of RPD with footstep tracking, if you looked down, of course, and increased injured sounds audio. She would switch to her Beldam form, her true form, after Hook or Mori. Her basic attack is just a claw swipe. Her special ability, you do the special ability button, then you choose M1 or M2. You would block off all pallets and vaults within your terror radius for 20 seconds. She would also have this in her Beldam form. And then her second ability would spawn fake pallets that will inflict 50% hindered when used. This is kind of an idea of what it might look like, where you get essentially what would be like active generator aura, like active sound aura, where you'd see these sound waves coming off of objects, even like across the map. You'd also get these like footstep trackings, where you'd see the footsteps, kind of like Alien has. Her other mother form would switch to the Beldam form after a Hook or a Mori. This would be an automatic swap. You would not get to choose it. She'd have a 40-meter terror radius in this. She'd have increased speed to 4.2 meters per second. She'd have faster animation speeds. Her lunge and normal swing range will be increased. Survivors will be exposed. She'd have her regular claw swipe and her special ability to block off all pallets and vaults within your terror radius for 20 seconds. It's possible that, if this isn't enough, we'll just boost her speed up, because she's really, really speedy, I think, in the movies. So 5.2 wouldn't be her accurate speed, then we can just boost it up a bit. Because I'm thinking, I'm thinking our Dash Killers, Wesker and Chucky and them, they all have higher speeds than this. Now, she is going to be playing with essentially a type of Condemn and Exposed, so maybe you wouldn't need that. I don't know, I guess it'd all just be numbers tweaking, depending on how severely punishing this would be. Her perks would be Entrap. When a survivor gains any status effect not triggered by the killer, very important, it applies exposed for that duration plus 15 seconds after. This would be like how she's, essentially just trying to lure people in and trap them, and how she's trying to find people who are vulnerable and exposed and insecure, and trying to fill that in that space with her manipulation. So this is the idea that she's actively going after weak people, I guess you could say, people at a weak state. Her next perk, Welcome Home. This is based on how she doesn't want people leaving. She wants to keep them there forever. So in this case, in Dead by Daylight, since generators are the main objective, the idea is that whenever she enters chase with a survivor, it'll block the objective. The two generators with the most progress for 20 seconds, and you'll lose 15% of the total progress on them immediately. Her next perk would be Hex Unwanted Gift. This is a hex perk that will apply broken to all survivors once somebody is unhooked until it is cleansed. So a healthy survivor would still get broken applied, and if they get hit, they would still have it until this is cleansed. So, sorry about that. But, once again, this is her trying to essentially keep people there forever, feed off of them, even, sew buttons into their eyes so she can keep them there, take a piece of them, and that way feed off of them. So this is the idea behind that, is that she doesn't want people escaping, she doesn't want you getting the upper hand, she really wants you controlled in her web, where she, knows what's happening, knows everything's happening. So, she doesn't want people getting unhooked, she doesn't want people healing, because those would potentially help them get out of the match. So this is that idea of her trying to break down those types of relationships. She doesn't want you, with Coraline, she's talking about how that's his better father, this is the better life, we love you, you should stay here forever. She's trying to break down that survivor coordination, the I don't want you unhooking, I don't want you healing. And this would be the Otherworld map images. We'd have some of our iconic locations. And then you'd have some Otherworld effect changes. This would mostly be like skybox type stuff, where you'd see that fade out to white when you see her to signal that she's changed form. If you have any better ideas, or maybe you really, really like this idea, consider liking and subscribing. Thanks. Bye-bye.